Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be making a card with you. We are going to be making this card here, and this is an easel card, and I am going to show you how fun this is. It stands up just like this. And so let's go ahead and get started. I'm working with the Stamps of Life August Stamp and Die Hard Club. This includes a brand new 4x6-inch stamp set with a matching die. These are automatically shipped to you on the first of every month. It's always a brand new, never released stamp and matching die set. This bills automatically on the first of each month, and it also ships automatically on the first of each month. You also receive this nice little handy dandy idea card. And I've already taken this off the carrier sheet, so I like to mount mine on these magnetic sheets. And then I like to place mine in these sleeves, and you can see it just slips in here. And then with these, I also like to place them in there. But what I found is to do that, I just snip off a couple, like just a little bit off the bottom. So just like an inch or so. And then I find that that will allow me to slip that right into the pocket. So let me show you a little bit about this stamp set. So I am not affiliated with the Stamps of Life. I am just a fan, but I really, really like their quality of their stamps and their dies. And so I like that it's shipped to me automatically on the first of each month. And this one I just thought was so super cute. This Tailgate2Stamp. So it's this fun little truck, and you can see you get these nice sentiments, wishing you loads of, and you can say birthday wishes, happiness, fun, success, luck, love, for you, hooray, hello, thanks, and happy fall. And then you get the dies that match. You also get the shadow dies, which is nice. And then I also bought one of the add-on sets. Let me show that to you. Let me take it out of the sheet here. I've already cut out some of the license plates, so I'm keeping them in the little bag. But this set is so fun. Look at this. So these are little sayings that you can put in on the license plate of the truck. And so this one says, forgive me, HB day. So happy birthday, hi there, hugs to you, late again, bye for now, celebrate, you are a cutie. You are great. Oh my gosh, I just love these. Oh, there's one that says OMG. OMG, cute. You are loved. Way to go. I mean, these are just awesome. So I think I'm going to get a lot of use out of this. Not only on this truck, but I can see myself just cutting these out. Maybe even using them as little sentiment strips on scrapbook pages. So I really liked this. And then these words, they'll fit right inside the truck. You can see you can stamp them up here, like in the back. You can do loads of love or loads of fun. This special delivery fits right in here. So you got lots of options that you can do. So I have that. And then I'm going to be bringing in a couple more stamp sets today, or stamps and dies, so let me bring those in for you as well. I'm also going to be bringing in this die set. This is called Wreath to Stamp Dies, and I'm going to be using just some of these little bitty flowers. I think that they're great little embellishments. So I use this set quite often. It's got the little tiny leaves, the little tiny hearts, just these little bitty flowers. Let me bring in my card here to show you what I'm going to be doing with those. Just these little bitty flowers. And then another set that I'm going to be bringing in, this one, and you're probably thinking, what? Christmas? This is the Polar Bear to Stamp, but I'm going to be bringing in this present. And so I've got the stamps and the dies that match on the back. This present, you could use it for Christmas, and you can use it for birthdays. So let me get this cleaned up, and we will get started making the card. All right, now that I have my card base, there's a couple things that I want to do with this. I just want to make sure it has a good score line there. So with this, I want to take this and just bring it in towards the center. So I want to take the top piece, bring it in towards the center, and just give it a good score. And then eventually what that's going to do, I'm going to end up gluing a panel to that. So let me show you. I'm going to cut another panel. I'm going to cut another 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 piece. And I'm going to put glue along the bottom piece. And then that will allow this card to just open and close. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Let me move this out of the way. That way we can have our whole base just assembled. All right, so I've got my card base open, and I'm just going to put glue up here on this top portion. And then I'm going to take this and I'm just going to put this piece on here, line it up. So that way when you close your card, everything closes nice and flat. So we're just lining that up. Okay, and then we're going to decorate that bottom panel. We're just going to take a piece of 4 by 5 1/4, and we're going to place that on the bottom. But before we do that, we're going to bring in some ribbon. So I have the Stamps of Life ribbon here, and we're just going to cut off a little piece. And I like to use this tear tape. If I can find the end of the tear tape, here we go. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to place the tear tape all along the edge of the ribbon, or all along the back side of the ribbon. And give that a good press. And then I want to make sure that the tear tape did adhere to my ribbon. I just want to peel off that backing. And it looks like I'm peeling the actual tear tape. Okay, and now I want to place my ribbon, just about not mid, but just like a quarter of the way up. Line that up. And then we're going to stick that to the back. Now I did want to mention that this paper that I'm using today, I'm using the See You Soon collection. Okay, so I have that down, and then I'm going to glue this panel down. Center that. And so now we have the base of our card, and you can see now that's just going to stand up just like that. Now once we put some weight on there, that'll hold that down. Right now we don't have enough weight on there, but once we get our truck added, that will hold that down. Okay, so now we need to decorate a front panel. So let me set that aside, and I do have another piece cut. This is just in the powdered sugar, the white cardstock. And for this one, I'm going to bring in a stencil. I have the Tri-Dot stencil. I like to just stick a piece of washi on the back so it doesn't really move around on me. And then I'm going to add a couple pieces of tape just to hold this down. And I'm going to bring in my Stamps of Life mini inks. Now this is stored in the Stamp Store and Go. This is by Totally Tiffany. And I'm going to do this in the same color of ink as my cardstock here. I'm going to use the guava ink. And I'm just going to get a little ink on here. And we're going to use this Tri-Dot stencil to just make our card front panel. And then we can start making our truck. Okay. Let's do the big reveal here. Perfect. I love the way that turned out. I do think I want to ink up the edges, so I'm going to get that ink back out. Just give it a little definition. I'm going to take my tape off. And I'm just going to use my dauber here and go around the edges just to give it a little definition and dimension. Perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to glue that card front onto the base. Just using my liquid adhesive here. What I really like about the Stamps of Life cardstock is it's really thick. Even their paper is really thick. And so you can use the liquid adhesive and it doesn't show through your paper. It's just a nice quality. Okay, so we have that down, and then you can see how that is going to pop up there. So now we just need to make our truck. Now for the truck, I am going to bring in my Misty. This is a large stamp. You wouldn't have to use a Misty, but I feel like when I'm using a large stamp, it's nice if I need to go back over it. So with this one, I do want to stamp it on, I believe this is bubblegum. Yes, so I'm going to stamp this on the bubblegum cardstock. So I'm going to stamp my truck on bubblegum. And I am going to use the Spectrum Noir Alcohol Proof Noir Black ink. And the reason that I want to use this ink is because I do want to color this truck in with my alcohol tri-blend markers, my Spectrum Noir tri-blend markers. And so this is an ink that is alcohol friendly, and so your markers won't bleed when you use this ink. So a lot of times we don't think about coloring with our tri-blend markers when we stamp on colored cardstock, but you can totally do that. And so I'm using the bubblegum cardstock, and let me just give it a good press. ink it up again. I just really want to get a good crisp. This is an older ink. I have a new one. Just don't know where I put it right now. So I'm using this older one, so I may have to stamp it a couple times, but that's okay because I want a good deep image. Okay. Now I have went ahead and used the dies, and I've used this middle die here. Let me show you. I've used this middle die here, and I went ahead and cut out a piece of vellum for the car window, but I want that like black line to stamp on there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a little bit of adhesive on the vellum because I want it to stick down, and then I want to stamp it. So I'm going to use a little bit of my tape runner. Now I know I'm going to put a present here, so I'm going to just put a little bit of glue like around right there, because I know that present's going to cover up where this adhesive is. So I'm going to put that piece of vellum down, and then I'm just going to ink that area up again where that window is, because I want that black line to stamp around that vellum just to finish that off. You see how that just finishes that off? I'm gonna do it one more time just to give it a good. If I wouldn't have done that, because the die is the same as that opening, it covers up the black lines. And so I just think by doing this, it allows you to give that like finished look. Okay, so I've done that part. So now I'm going to clean my stamp. I'm just going to take a baby wipe. You have a stamp chamois, you could use a stamp chamois. I just find it easier to use a baby wipe. I'm going to place this back on the carrier sheet. Okay, and so I'm going to set this aside. So now I'm going to use my die. Let me find the die, and I want the inside die. So I want the inside die, and I'm just going to line it up, and I'm going to just put a little washi on here so it stays in place. And then I've already taken the outside die and I've placed it on some black cardstock, and I've already cut out a black base. So let me run this through my die cut machine and I'll be right back. Okay, so now I have my truck. Now one thing I noticed is there isn't a die to cut out like, what is this called? Bumper. There isn't a different die to cut out the bumper. And so I want my bumper a different color. So I'm going to use my Spectrum Noir Tri-Blend markers to color that in. Now there is a die for the license plate, and so I have stamped and cut out the license plate. Now I actually did the same color, but there's not a die for this bumper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my Spectrum Noir Tri-Blend markers, and let's see, this is the bright pink shades, and I'm going to use the light color, and I'm going to color in, not fancy coloring, not shading or anything, but I'm just going to color in these tail lights, and I want to color both of the tail lights in the guava. This matches the guava, I think. And then I also want to color in this bumper. So I'm just going to go around. Like I said, I'm not doing any shading or anything fancy. I just want to give this tailgate some color because there isn't a separate die, or not tailgate, what am I saying here? You know what I'm saying. This bumper. Because there's not a separate die for the bumper, and I want the bumper to have a different color, and there's not a way to really paper pierce here. There's not like the chads. And so I find that you can easily just color this in. See how easy that was? Just to give that some color. Okay, so now I'm going to color in the little mirrors, and the color I'm going to use for that is the Ice Blue Blend, and I'm also going to use the light shade of that. And so I'm going to color those mirrors in, and I just love the way this looks. And then the next thing that I want to color in, I want to color in those tires. And so let's see, the color that I have for that is the brown gray shades. And let's see, I do have the light. Let me see if I like the light. So I've got the light, but I think I'm gonna do the medium over that, just to darken that up. Yeah, I like the darker. So I did the light and then the medium. So I'm going to repeat that on the other tire here. Just going to go color all over it with the light. And then with the medium. I think I could even probably do the dark, but I think I'm going to leave it just like that with those two colors. Okay, and so now I'd like to add a sentiment right here on the tailgate. And so I have cut the tailgate. Now the tailgate stamp, or the tailgate die, excuse me, I've already cut that piece out, but see this little die right here? I've cut that out of the powdered sugar. And let me find the stamp for that. Oh, right here. So I want to stamp the wishing you loads of birthday wishes. So I'm going to go ahead and just line it up on, I'm just going to line it up on the piece here. And then I'm going to grab my block. Let's see, that one's too small. Let me get a bigger block. I'm going to line it up. And then I'm going to bring in my little foamy piece. This is called the Secret Weapon. This is the Stamps of Life Secret Weapon. And I believe it's called this, the reason it's called the Secret Weapon is because you get a great impression every time you stamp with this Secret Weapon. Each time you stamp with this Secret Weapon, it's like really foamy, so it gives you that nice surface. I'm gonna bring back in my little guava ink. Let me just make sure this is guava. Yep, it's guava. So everything coordinates here. Get this nice and inky. Okay. And then I'm just going to line this up again and give it a press. And hold it for just a second to let that ink really just soak in. And perfect. I love the way that turned out. So that looks good. I'm happy with that. So let me take my baby wipe and clean off my stamp. Now when you use the guava ink, you can see it has kind of stained my stamp a little bit, but there's nothing wrong with this stamp. It's just stained a little bit. So it's okay. So that's why when you looked at my stamp, it has that little pink color. It's just well loved now. Okay, so we have that done. So let me set this to the side. Now I did go ahead and cut an additional layer for the background layer for the truck. I want to just layer these two together just to give it a little extra dimension. So I'm just going to glue these two together. You wouldn't have to do this step. I just wanted to give it a little extra weight. All right. And oh, one thing I forgot to mention about the truck, is, I don't know if you can see it. See that? It cuts a little slit. So we're able to add things in on the truck. So I'm not going to glue the truck down yet. I am going to go ahead. Oh, I forgot to color the little handle in. So let me get back out my marker and color the little handle in with the light. I knew I was missing something. Okay, so we're ready to glue this piece on. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and glue my cute little license plate on. I just think this is adorable. Perfect. Okay, now we need to stamp a present. So I've got a little scratch paper here. Let me bring in the secret weapon and let me get that present. That present was from the Polar Bears to Stamp. I'm gonna grab a block. And since I'm going to be using my alcohol markers, I do want to, again, use the same ink. And I'm just going to give it a good press. There we go. And then I need to get the dies out. So you can see how I store these. I keep the stamps on one side, and then I keep the dies on the other. Okay, so I've got the die here. I'm just gonna line this up and place my washi tape on there. Run it through my die cut machine. Okay. So for the colors on the present, I do want to bring in that same bright pink shades, and then I want to bring in the pale pink blend. So I want to bring in the pale pink blend, and I'm going to use the lightest color, and I'm just going to color the top of the box and the sides of the box. Basically everything but the ribbon. Oops, and this little, let's see, I think that little piece there. And I'm gonna go, I think I'm gonna go back in and do a little bit of shading on this one. And I'm just going to go back over it with the light just to blend that out. Nothing fancy, just putting in some color. And then I'm going to pick up the lightest shade with this marker and just go over that bow, just because this really matches that guava. I mean, I think it's like spot on for the guava. And let's see here. Perfect. Let me take a little bit this darker color up here. All right, I like it. Okay, so now I think we're ready to start assembling. I can place my present in the truck, and actually I'm just gonna put a little piece of tape on the back to hold that in place so that doesn't move around, and then that covers up our glue that we had. And I'm gonna bring in the little pieces that I cut from this die set. Again, this was the wreaths to stamp, and these are tiny, so I'm gonna get my Stamps of Life tweezers. So let me bring in all those little pieces. Let me bring them into my work area here. Okay. All right. Okay, now that I have all my little pieces, I've used the green apple for the leaves, and then I've used the guava for the other pieces. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue on the back, and I know I'm gonna want a flower up here, so I'm gonna try to fit one up here. So I'm gonna put a couple leaves up here, and then I want to put a flower up there. Let me bring this up so you can see. And I might even move my present over just a little bit. I think I'm going to do that. Oh, that moved in there just fine. Okay, I'm going to place something in the center, so you're not going to see that green in just a minute. And then I'm going to want another one. Oh my, I think I'm missing a leaf. They're so tiny. I'm missing a leaf. Let me go cut another one. I'll be right back. Missing a leaf. Let me go cut another one. I'll be right back. I have my leaf here, so let me get this glued down. They're so tiny. I kind of want it up like that. These tweezers really come in handy when you're working with these small pieces. And then I want just another one, maybe just overlapping that. I've got a couple of those hearts, so let me pick out this little tiny black one and put some glue on it. Oops. Perfect. And then how about one more little flower down here. Okay. Now I can go ahead and glue this to my base. And I doubled the base up. I think I actually cut 3. So I'm ready to glue this to my base, and then I'm going to put some gems on here. So I'm going to put some glue on the back. I'm just going to line this up. Oh, that looks so cute. Let me move these extra pieces out of the way. Now I didn't use all of these, but I can put these back in my envelope and I can use these later. So see how I store those? I put my stamp going one direction and my die going the other. And then I usually just place any extra die cuts in between. So then if I want to do another project, I've got some extras. Okay, so I want to bring in some gems. So let me show you how I store my gems. This is the Totally Tiffany Katya bag, and this is so perfect for your gems. So it's got this really good Velcro. It's loud. And when you are in, the Stamps of Life has some other clubs, and they usually send you gems like in their card kit club. And so I have lots and lots of gems, or you can actually purchase these on their website. And so I always add some gems to my orders. So anyway, I thought these would be perfect just for the centers of these flowers. Let's see, I want them just these centers, just these flowers that have the holes. Oh my. They're just popping around everywhere on me. Does anyone else have that problem? Just me? Let me put a little glue there. I think I lost the little sticky part when I picked it up with my tweezers. Okay, there we go. And then I need one more. Oh, see? I'm picking up the sticky. I'll just do it the old-fashioned way and add some glue. And let me just push that into place. Now this glue will dry clear, so you won't see any of that. Okay. And now, since I have my little truck done, I'm ready to add that to the front of my card. So let me put some glue on the back of my truck. And add this to the front of the card. So if you have enjoyed this video, if you would go ahead and give me a thumbs up, that just tells YouTube that you enjoyed this content, and it really helps my little channel. And actually, if you would share, if you enjoyed this video, if you would share it with one of your friends, that helps me grow. And if you're not already a subscriber, if you'd hit the subscribe button, it just really helps me out. So thanks so much for watching today. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. And there you have it. There is our cute little Tailgate2Stamp card. Thanks so much for watching.